So today is all about good news and bad news when it comes to people moving to Spain, and a really sad story about a young family. If you remember Daniela, I interviewed her. I will put the link to the video in the description of this video. Daniela and her family sold up everything in the UK last year and had planned on moving to Spain, the wonderful country of Spain. And she wanted to bring her family over. She grew up in Spain. Now there are two stories for today's video. There is one about Daniela and there is one about the changing demographics of people that are moving to Spain that you don't really think about. And the Brits are falling way behind in one area. So back to Daniela's story. Let's listen to that. Let's listen to her and get a little bit of an update. If you remember, she wanted to move here with her young family, and she had sold up. They'd got a motorhome. They were going to drive over in the motorhome. They were doing a tour of Scotland and then down through England, and it was all looking great for them and promising until
we are no longer in Spain. We came back on the 27th of December, and the purpose of that was to get the kids back into school, because without a long-term rental contract in Spain, they wouldn't let me put the kids on the padron, which was the document that we needed to be able to get the kids into school. So we decided to come back, get the kids back into school, because they'd already been off for a bit too long, because our plans didn't go to plan. Turns out I've got no residency papers in Spain. I think I've already covered this, but I was brought up there, born there, brought up there. I was in school till the age of 15, and it just turns out that back in the day it was perhaps a bit more acceptable, maybe not, for your kids not to be official back then. I don't really understand it, I'm not sure, but I don't have any paperwork apart from my school certificates. So despite being born there, despite my dad having residency over there at the moment, and despite having school certificates proving that I was in school until the age of 15, I still cannot move to Spain legally by just going over there. I have no paperwork. My friends who were in the same class as me do, because their parents filled out the correct paperwork back in the day and they have the correct paperwork. I don't, so I am in a very unfortunate position. The other thing which is very disheartening at the moment and frustrating is that if we had stayed in Spain and not come back on the 27th of December, we would have now qualified for the amnesty that Spain has announced. We had no idea about this amnesty. We didn't know it even existed, that it was coming up. So this amnesty means that 500,000 people in Spain are going to be, that are illegal at the moment, are going to be legalised if they were in Spain on the 31st of December, and if they are in Spain for 5 months by the time they apply in April when it opens up. So if we'd stayed in Spain and not come back, we could have just settled into life and then gone down that route. I don't know if there's any more caveats to that route, because I'm guessing maybe there's limits on what your status would be. I don't know. I'm not really clued up on it at the moment, but I just know that that would have been potentially an easier route for us. The good thing is I've got a few things going for us at the moment. My business plan has been approved by ATA, which is a big thing, because that can be quite difficult to get done. So it has been approved. That's my language academy to teach Mandarin, Spanish and English in Spain. So I'm delighted with that. But I've still got loads more paperwork to do to be able to submit the visa. And there's also a £2,000 health insurance which you have to have before you apply for the self-employed visa. So we're just debating whether what's best for us as a family, whether we stay here in the UK and just get set up here. Plan that we had hasn't gone to plan in so many ways. I mean, if we'd have just stayed in Spain, we would have qualified for this amnesty, but we really wanted to get the kids in school and we didn't know about the amnesty that was coming up.
Now the next story of today is one from Alfredo. Now Alfredo is a guru when it comes to all things property down in Marbella, and the changing demographics of Spain. And this one kind of surprised me, because there is a big split, especially here down in the Costa del Sol. There is East Costa del Sol, which we stay in, which is the area that you don't need to be a millionaire to stay at. It's the area where food prices are unbelievably cheap. It's the area where property prices are more affordable compared to West Costa del Sol. West Costa del Sol, which obviously takes in Estepona, Torremolinos, Marbella, places like that. Places where you need lots of money. Let's listen to Alfredo. We'll carry on the car journey at this point, I think, or will we just look at the sea? But let's listen to see what Alfredo says. And this may shock you, especially if you're British and you're looking at buying a property in that, and you'll be amazed at what town has went up over 37%, I think he says, in value.
Torremolinos is the municipality along the Costa del Sol that saw the highest price increase in 2025. Property prices in Torremolinos rose by 35.7% last year alone. This is something that we've been saying may be coming. There's a few new developments, there's a lot happening in Malaga West, and it's the natural overspill. Now, the other thing that's super interesting about Torremolinos is that it is the municipality on the Costa del Sol that has the highest percentage of domestic buyers, i.e. buyers from Spain itself. Again, you associate Torremolinos with the sort of Brits abroad expat haven, and 67.3% of all transactions in Torremolinos, according to Spain's notaries, were to domestic buyers. In terms of the foreign buyers, the top 5, the first one won't be any surprise to anybody that's ever been to Torremolinos. That's the Netherlands with 19.5% of all transactions by foreign buyers. Second place, however, may surprise you, Italy, 7.2. Third place, Poland, 6.4. Fourth place, French with 6.1. And in fifth place, the Brits with 5.9. So yes, the Brits are on the charts, but only in fifth place. In terms of transactions, this might surprise you as well. 1,994 properties were sold in Torremolinos in 2025, and the average price was 291,000 and change. So quite a lot of transactions for a place that really isn't on anybody's radar.
Now, getting back to the whole Daniela and her family, the devastation that they've had in not moving to Spain is another case of Brexit, the fantastic Brexit that keeps on giving. You know, I've spoken about this before, that this could happen to young people. It could happen to anyone. The fact is, it's now going to happen to my daughters, because back in the day, you could jump on a flight, you could go and work in the bars at Magaluf, you know, Marbella, Salou, Ibiza, Mallorca, Santa Ponza, and you went and done that in the summer, you know. Kids took a year out uni. Lots done it. I did it. Karen did it. You know, both of us did it. Our kids are at an age where they're not going to do that type of thing. They had the opportunity when they were younger. But now, because of Brexit, you know, you now need visas, you need all sorts of permissions to go and do that type of thing. Now, this isn't getting into has Brexit been good or bad for the UK. It's not that type of video. But it's showing you that a young family that grew up here in Spain, because they didn't have the correct paperwork by their parents, and some will say, well, that's their parents' fault, it's their mum and dad's fault, she has to have an issue with them. Give Daniela some love. I will put a link to her TikTok, and I'll put a link to the video also. But you know, it's crazy going forward that Spain is changing again. You know, it's no longer reliant on the British pound when you've got places like Torremolinos where the Brits are down in 5th position in buying property. Torremolinos, that was one seen as that, you know, typical British bevy holiday. Brits in Spain doing it again, getting absolutely hammered. But the reality of the situation, you heard him speaking himself, you know, you heard him saying Brits are no longer the dominant factor in buying property in that area. So what does it say for Brits in Spain in general? Yes, they are still one of the higher populations around buying cheaper properties, but with property prices going up, you know, gone are the days where you could buy a reasonably sized property for under 100 grand on the coast. Gone are the days where you could buy a villa with a swimming pool 10 minutes from the coast for under 100 grand. A lot of people plan on that by selling their houses. A lot of people used to sell their houses in the UK, take the profit, buy a property in Spain, give themselves a little hefty bank balance to live off with their pensions. Those days are becoming harder for the younger generation. And some people say that the younger generations never had it so easy. I say that the younger generations never had it so hard. Never had it so hard to be able to buy property, especially in the UK, especially here in Spain. You know, see both my daughters, both trying to get on the property ladder in the UK. But because of the offers system in Scotland, you know, you're having to put in offers and property prices just keep going up. Sad really, but it's crazy. Anyway, it is Sunday. I am recording this on Sunday morning. What time is it? Let me just double check the time. Time is 11:46. The time of filming this. So if you'll see that, come up 11:47 now. As I head back along this way. A fantastic day. So, other than that, how has your week been? A couple of people were asking when we're going to go along to Almunica. I've got to be honest, it's not somewhere that's on our target list. There are a lot of other places that I want to go to first. It is a bit like Torrevieja, so it's not somewhere that will get big views. And we've had people that we know that have headed over that way on holiday, and they're from Torrevieja, and they said it's pretty much like Torrevieja, but does have more hotels. So anyway, I will be heading there at some point, but it's not a high priority on the list of places that I do want to go to. And at the end of the day, it is all about views. And people, YouTube's funny because people only really watch the areas that they want to watch. But that's YouTube for you. A couple of folk out in jet skis over there. Still tidying the beaches up here after all the storms. 4 folk, 5 out on jet skis. People at the Chiringuito having some Sunday food, Sunday breakfast at this time of day, isn't it? And still lots to be cleared up on the beaches, isn't there? But it's all along the coast. You know, it's devastated lots of parts of Spain. But anyway, when I look at up and down the coast, we were at a fantastic place yesterday actually, down at Torrox Costa, Chiringuito Mambo. If you've not been there, this is a cracking. Actually does live music on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday maybe, I think it is. It does have live music in the Chiringuito, and it's right on the beach. It's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic location, and the food is cheap as anything. I'm going to show you the water running down from the mountains, because you remember obviously the crazy rains that we've had, and the water that was running down from the mountains was really grey and horrible. And now obviously the fact that the rains have stopped, you know, the mountains hold a hell of a lot of water, and it's probably the cleanest and healthiest water that you could ever get coming straight from the mountains. And that's one of the reasons that we love this area, because it kind of reminds us of Scotland. I don't know, it's great. If you head away upstream That water is just pure filtered water from the mountains. And also the fact that the reservoirs, the dams in this area, I've seen some cracking pictures of ones up and down the Andalusian coastline where some of the reservoirs 2 years ago were at 9% capacity, and now they're at 85% capacity. And you think, that's a lot of water, isn't it? It's a lot of rain as well. It's a as we would say, that's a shit lot of rain, mate. Anyway, Sunday, let's have a walk over to Las Palmeras, Chiringuito, and see how busy it is on a Sunday. What's it like with you today? It's nice and busy. Look, people getting ready to have some food. It's great. Oh, look at the paella that's about ready. Wait till you see this. Oh, there's a proper paella. Look at that. That's fantastic, look at that. It's a proper sea paella. What a better way to spend a Sunday. Barbecue, paella on the beach, espetos, maybe some paella, maybe just a couple of beers. Oh, it's a hard life, isn't it? Anyway, on that note, have an absolutely fantastic day. It's great, isn't it? Oh look, they're cleaning up, they're taking boats out over there, or oh, that's the thing, it takes the boats out in the water, isn't it? Anyway, hasta luego.